notes and stopped. I don't know where they begin, end.
I wrote the history, a little bit about it, the history down, and then I never wrote any gameplay stuff. But actually, I got some of it kind of wrote down, but I didn't write it down.
You kind of wrote it down, but you didn't write it down.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I got, well, one whole or two whole pages just different kind of Tamagotchis. It's not really the way I got it wrote. It's spread out to cover a page that really doesn't have that much to it.
Yeah.
Oh, where's the pizza party?
I mean, with all the crazy stuff that they have now, they're a little different, but let's talk about the classic stuff. There you go.
John, you gonna be at the restaurant all week?
I'm off tomorrow.
Okay, I'm not going up there tomorrow, but Wednesday or Thursday?
Wednesday I'm there. Thursday I close. So I'll go in from 4 to midnight.
What time are you there on Wednesday?
Is 6 to 4.
You'll be about lunchtime?
Well, 6 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Okay. I think
I'll cover lunchtime during that.
I might come up and eat lunch.
Okay. We'll come up and eat lunch.
I'm right down the road now, so.
I know. I mean, you got to get. I say that I never get out of the building when I say people need to do that. But
hey, John, you went by and picked up that fire pit, right?
No.
You never went by the house and picked it up? I wish you had a key to the house.
What?
Because we left all our liquor.
Oh.
It was apparently in a cabinet that we emptied, and then we didn't completely empty it, apparently.
How much liquor did you?
I was thinking you're drinking some of it and forgot to get the rest of it.
3 bottles, and they weren't. None of them were. Maybe half full at the most.
3 bottles of what?
There was some rum. There was some triple sec, and
nobody drinks triple sec, so I mean.
No, but it was mixed. We were mixing it with. What were we making? Oh, we were making margaritas.
Why do you use triple sec?
Tequila. Because you mix triple sec and margarita and tequila, you can. Yeah.
I don't.
You don't have to. I'm just saying.
I go straight.
I don't either. So.
Tequila.
Yeah.
Straight tequila.
So, but it was
lime juice.
We left it there, and we think it's funny that we left it there.
Yeah. Dude, coming back from California, you know how much stuff we left in the hotel rooms? It was stupid. I think I left 18 cases of Truly in 4 different hotel rooms.
What?
Because other side,
why? I mean,
nobody drank the Trulies, so we were trying to get rid of them. So we
nobody drinks the Trulies.
The last day, we were like, just leave them all in your rooms.
Yeah,
we were giving them away at times too to people.
Let the maids drink.
Let the maids drink them. They'll have fun with them. So, yeah. All right, we ready?
Sure.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Toy Rewind Podcast with your hosts, the Brothers Newland. Now, let's talk toys.
And hello, everybody. I am Michael.
I am John.
And I'm Andrew. And welcome back to the Toy Rewind Podcast, specifically episode 96. It's been a long, tough road. We're at 96. We're like 4 away from 100. And if we could stop taking weeks off like we did last week, we'd be even closer. We'd probably be there if we didn't miss so much.
Whose fault was it for taking the week?
I sorry, we're back. We're back. I'm in a basement in Denver. Our technically Castle Rock, southern Denver. So, but we're here. We're gonna get these next 4 episodes out of the way, and we're gonna make 100. I promise. We're gonna be it. Well, welcome back to the Toy Rewind podcast. This is just a little podcast where the 3 of us like to get together and talk about toy lines from our childhood and give you a history lesson, or specifically Michael likes to give you a history lesson about how those toys got made and they ended up in our household. There's a phone noise. So be sure you hit that bingo square. This week, we're rewinding back to 1997 to talk about those small little digital pets that so many of us had. These released by Bandai, specifically the Tamagotchis. So, yeah, we're going to talk about those. And I know you probably had one. Everybody had one. John and Michael didn't. They're too old, but it's fine. I don't know if I ever actually owned one, but I took care of many of them, whether they were friends or girlfriends or
I don't
wives or
remember
whatever.
having one. And I mean, when these came out, I was 17. I was a little bit into other stuff. Michael was
48 and
20. Is that right? 17, 18, 19. Yeah, 20.
20.
Yeah, 20.
That's how math
90,
works.
yeah, 97. I was 20.
So, I mean, I don't know what he got into and then, but I know I didn't have one, and I still don't quite understand these.
That's the thing is, I don't know if I actually ever owned one, but I took care of quite a few, just like friends, and we'd pass them around to school or whatever. So
yeah, I didn't have one. Rainey had one, and she doesn't remember what she had or what it looked like. She just said she kept it alive for a little while and then it died and she gave up on it.
Megan said she had one and it died like hundreds of times. So
yeah, you just reset it on the back and then you're good to go. So, but before we get into that, John, you do your thing.
All right, so check our website over at toyrewindpodcast.com. You can also look us up at crossthestreamsmedia.com. While you're at Cross the Streams Media, you can leave us a voicemail. You can email us at toyrewindpodcast@gmail.com. Our Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch is all Toy Rewind Pod. Facebook and YouTube is Toy Rewind Podcast. And I say that because I still don't want you connecting to the wrong people if it's not us. We do stream, or when we get a chance, now that we've had some moving and other stuff, and maybe we'll get a chance to do some toy box showcases and put them up on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, of course. And then, as always, as Andrew called bingo on the toy phone, the phone noise. Check our podcast bingo over at podcastbingo.com/toy rewind and play along. Let us know what you get.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Michael.
May check. I did another Motoring Monday. I rambled on about some Hot Wheel Redline from the original Redlines from 1968 to 72, I think is what I had. So if you want to hear me ramble about Hot Wheels.
So is that original 68 right there?
Yeah, this one is this one's from 1968. This is the custom fleet side is what this one here is. So
okay. That looks like an El Camino.
Yeah, it's similar to an El Camino. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a custom. Harry Bradley had a custom fleet side Chevy truck, and he kind of modeled this after it. You can kind of see.
I guess it has more of the truck front and lowered.
The 67 kind of things, but it's kind of got an El Camino look to it as well. So, but yeah, if you want to hear me ramble, and by the time I looked up, I was done. It was like 37 minutes, something like that. And I'm all, wow, I didn't realize I talked that much. No, it was.
Oh, okay. I had a whole. Just like,
I just grabbed a whole box of what I had, a little carry case I got, and put them out and talked about each one.
He was just enjoying what he was talking about. So
that's why I was worried. Like, you just spent that much time talking about one little car. Like, I mean, not yes, that's fine. It's not a problem. I just was like, wow, like, you
can get that much into it.
Really enjoyed that one car. So, I mean, that's easily possible. I could do that about some of my pops, maybe.
Let's see how much we get into this topic.
I have a lot more of them, but I just grabbed some and just talked about those that I grabbed. So yeah,
Cool.
Okay. Well, this week we need to get in and talk about some Tamagotchis because yeah, I mean, why not, right? That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
So, Michael, you ready to rewind and get into it?
Yep, let's go. All right, so we're talking about Tamagotchi. This is a handheld digital pet that was created in Japan by Akihiro Yokoi of Wiz, which I think has something to do with Bandai. It's like a subsidiary or something like that. I couldn't find the exact what that is. I don't know if it's like their electronic part or whatever. If anybody knows, let us know. So I couldn't find anything else on that. So again, I apologize for. I know Aaron's going to say something. This is another Japanese line that we're talking about, and the names kind of don't fit with our East Texas
No,
accent.
not at all.
So, but anyway, so like I said, it was created by Akihiro Yokoi of Wiz, and then Aki Mayata of Bandai. So this was also, it was released by Bandai on November 23rd, 1996 in Japan. And then on May 1st, 1997 in the U.S. when they brought it into the U.S. May of 97. So this quickly became one of the biggest toy fads of the late 1990s and early 2000s. So if you remember, there was a lot of people who had these things.
Everybody.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Not everybody.
So the name Tamagotchi is actually a portmanteau word. I think, I don't know if I said that right or not. Which is it's just a word that's made of two parts of two words combined. You know, like you have smog, that's smoke and fog, or motel, which is motor, and hotel. So they just combine the names. So tamago, which means egg in Japan, in Japanese, and then ugachi, which is watch. So it's an egg watch, is what it is.
That makes sense.
So most Tamagotchi are housed in a small egg-shaped handheld video game with an interface consisting of 3 buttons. There are some bigger ones that have like 6 buttons and 2 little small ones, and they do a little bit other things than the smaller ones. But so you had Tamagotchi characters are colorful creatures with a simple design based on animals, objects, or people. So Tamagotchis are a small, what they are is a small alien that's a small alien species that's deposited an egg on Earth to see what life was like, and it was up to the player to raise the egg into an adult creature. So you don't know what there's different kind of creatures and stuff, and you don't know what you're going to have until that egg hatches. So the creature goes through several stages of growth and develops differently depending on how the player cares for that creature. So you provide, but you provide it by feeding it and different playing games with it and paying attention to it and stuff like that. And the more you deal with it, the better life it's going to have, and it's going to live longer for you. So
these are the things that you can buy for your kids instead of a goldfish.
Yeah,
because this you don't have to rebuy it; you just reset it on the back, and then you're good to go. Yeah.
So
right.
Yeah,
and then plus they could take this away at school, and yeah.
Well,
but you got to remember that the time that this came out, it was 10 years before the cell phone came out, pretty much, or the smartphones came out. I mean, we had cell phones, but they weren't smartphones like they are now. So you've got all this kind of stuff that you can do on your phone. You play games, you can look up stuff, you can browse the internet, you can do all kinds of things. Well, you didn't have that back then. So this Tamagotchi kind of gave you something to do when you don't have nothing to do.
When you couldn't play Snake on your little cell phone.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I was just saying.
Yeah.
You can't play Snake.
Or on your your Texas Instrument calculator.
Yeah. You're doing
yeah.
whatever you're doing your TI-83. Yep.
Yeah. So, when releasing the Tamagotchi in Japan, Bandai initially marketed these exclusively to teenage girls. Bandai and Wiz would later create a more masculine counterpart to the Tamagotchi, which is called the Digital Monster, which would spawn into the Digimon franchise. So, so if you know the Digimon, it actually came from Tamagotchi. It kind of spawned from there. So, so a couple things. Let's see, a couple things you got. So when you're playing the game, it's like a game. So when you activate it, there's an egg on the screen, and then you set a little clock, little thing, and it actually, the egg will kind of wiggle around for a few minutes, and then it would hatch. So you
Like,
would,
as most eggs do.
Yeah, as most eggs do.
Not
So
in a couple of minutes though.
So by then, the player can name the pet, and then you learn of what kind of family group it came from, and what kind of gender, if it's a boy or a girl. You find out all that after it hatches. You can care for the pet as much or as little as you want to. Like I said, the outcome depends on the player's actions on how much you pay attention to it.
Okay, so this just goes to my stupidity of this. All right. Mm-hmm. You start with an egg and get a dog.
Yeah. It's an alien, John.
Just want to make sure I got that right.
It's an alien.
It's an alien. It's again, different.
All aliens come from eggs.
Yeah. So
we learned that.
No, there's then you have later on, and we're going to talk about this next week. Gigapet. Yeah. So those are actually, I think, Gigapet. Yeah. Well, I hadn't really done the research on it, but some of these actually have cats and dogs and rabbits and stuff like that. These Tamagotchis aren't really animals like that. They're alien creatures, is what they are.
Yeah,
that's what I want to know, because I like I said, I know nothing about these.
Yeah. So.
But I knew there was dogs and other stuff and something, and that's
that's some other brands. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get into that more next week, I think, when we sit down and do that. So, so give you a peek on what's coming up in episode 97. But anyway, so these things have like a happy meter and a training meter, and it kind of determines how healthy and how well behaved your creature is, your Tamagotchi is. There's an age and weight clock, so it kind of tells you how old it is. Like every day, it's like each day is a year. So if he lives for 2 days, he's 2 years old. For 3 days, he's 3 years old. Something like that. And then you have a weight, so you're not starving your Tamagotchi. So, so you can feed it, and it usually looks like a little hamburger or something that appears when you feed it.
Yeah.
And then you can play when you're making it happy. You can play little mini games with it. There's one where if you got to tell, like the first ones, you got to figure out if it's looking left or right, and you got to pick which way it's looking to win the game. And then there's a number guessing game as well. So it puts a number up there, and you got to figure out if the next number is going to be higher or lower than or because there's one on each side, and if the second one, you got to guess if the second one's going to be higher or lower than the first number. So it's pretty easy. When there's a 9 up there, you're going to guess it's going to be lower than a 9.
Yeah,
because it's only one digit. So you got 0 through 9, I think is what it is. So that's how you kind of play with it. You get these little games. Now, some of the newer versions, they have different games and stuff like that. We're just talking about the first few years, the first generation type of these things. So they're more simple. They're little pixelated things on the screen. It's nothing fancy. No 3D looking figures or anything like that. So, when you're feeding it, you don't want to feed it too much because it'll get sick. If you don't feed it, it gets sick. But when you do feed it, it does poop like a pet. So you have to go around and clean it up, because if you don't clean up your poop, then the pet gets sick again. So it does have like a little medicine thing you can give it to make it feel better. There's also a discipline meter where you can scold it if it does something bad. Like sometimes it refused to play, or it doesn't want to eat, or something like that. So let's see. Going back to when it has to go to the bathroom, it'll make a little face, and then you see little squiggly lines, like it's stinky, type thing. So that's something kind of out there they added to it. So like, it take care of it like a real pet. Is what it is. So, so and if you catch it when it's doing that, then you can kind of potty train it as well. So that's something else that's out there.
I don't think I was ever able to potty train mine, or the ones that I had control of.
Yeah. And once you get your training thing maxed out, it doesn't matter how old it is. It actually goes to the next level, the next maturity level, because it actually starts out. You get the egg, and then it hatches. And then once it gets to a certain age, you can see it evolve to a bigger figure. And then if you keep it long enough, you get like an old age looking one. So,
did you ever see an old age one, Andrew?
No, I never seen one get that.
I was going to say, you're talking schools. So from what I read, most of the time, teachers got pretty upset on these, because if you don't do something with them within like half a day, they die. And
I feel like it was like
all the kids were throwing a fit during school because, we got to do this.
Every few hours, I feel like you had to do something, or it would be like it would get sick or something. Let's just say if every day was a year, I killed a lot of toddlers when I was little. Because like we're talking 2 days max.
Yeah. So your Tamagotchi, the cycles, you have baby, child, teenager, adult, and special. I guess special was like a senior age.
Yeah, there was some that originally had senior age.
Yeah.
So
senior age special.
Yeah.
They get the senior discount at IHOP.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. So
I was talking about the senior age Tamagotchis, not mom and dad.
But if you have poor care, it causes it to die. But it can also die of old age. Like I said, if an old pet dies without producing offspring, the family line is ended. So you can there are some that kind of connect to infrared, and you can start families and stuff like that with these guys.
Okay.
So
that's
kind of
weird.
That's
too much.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I mean, they get
I didn't think we were doing a sex ed.
So but if it does die, it usually has a little ghost and a headstone on there when it does die.
You always know when it's dead.
Yeah, and then the English language versions were changed to show an angel when it dies instead of like a ghost.
Yeah, it would grow wings and like float up, and it float around the screen a little bit.
Yeah. So
and then when you acknowledge it, it would float away.
Yeah, if it dies, you can just restart it and start all over with another egg. So it's no big deal.
Yeah.
So that's that.
Just a warning: normal children are not that way. You can't just reset them.
No, you can't just reset.
Sure that's out there.
No, you have to wait till they get old enough to move out.
Yeah, so they re-released these. What'd you say? It was 2004, Michael?
Yeah, these were out from 96 in Japan, 97 in the States, to 98, 99. And then they quit. I think they still produced them, but they didn't release different stuff. And then in 2004, they brought out some new ones, revamped it a little bit, and made a little bit bigger ones, colorful. You got your egg shape thing that you play on the console, whatever you want to call it, the handheld part. And there's all different colors, different versions of it. So some look like little clock, will look like a crazy clock around the side of it. It has 12, 3, 6, and 9 on it. And some kind of looks like kind of clock from Pee-wee's Playhouse or something like that, on the edges. So, but they had different designs.
Andrew, do you know what that looks like?
Pee Wee Herman's clock?
Playhouse?
Yeah, Pee Wee's Playhouse. Yeah.
I didn't know if you were too young for that one.
No, I watched Pee Wee's Playhouse. There's
we
no
watched,
basement in
we
the
watched a
Alamo.
lot. I mean, he had to watch it because we watched it.
I watched that show.
Doesn't mean he
watched
remembered it.
No.
John. There's no basement in the Alamo. I know Pee Wee. It's all good. It's all good.
Oh, and
He also happens to be Cobblepot's dad in Batman Returns, but we won't go there.
Yeah.
Everything associates back to Batman.
Yeah, I think he was in Gotham too. He was.
Oh
Cobblepot's dad in
he
Gotham.
played Cobblepot's dad. Yeah.
So
okay, back to
all right. So you have different. There's all different kind of characters, but I've got a few of them here. Like, so I'm gonna try to say these names
before you get into that. I feel like there was I don't know if there was another release of them, like official, but I feel like they did come back and they resurged about the same time as Netflix dropped the first series of The Toys That Made Us. I don't think there was an episode about it or anything. I just think it was one of those things that everybody talked about, because around that time I do remember getting one for Bryony.
Yeah, they still do make them and sell them. You just have to find them where they're just not as popular as they were in the 90s, early 2000s, but they're still out there. So
they're still there and they're still cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, early 90s, that was top line digital computer stuff.
It was. You're talking about this little plastic egg thing with a small digital screen.
Our kids would never understand it.
With 3 buttons. Yeah, you do everything with 3 buttons.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about what you were talking about.
All right, so we got different characters. You got there's Baby Chi, Maruchi. I don't know if I wrote that down right, but Maruchi, Tamachi, Kuchi Tamachi, Tarakachi, Maskchi, Jinjirochi. Let's see, Mamechi, Nairochi, Kuchipachi, and Hidden Figure. Which the Hidden Figure was like a guy, like a human face on a little bitty body. So that was kind of, I don't know. I watched a YouTube video and the guy kept calling him Bob or something like that. But.
No Chattahoochee?
No Chattahoochee. No, there's no Chattahoochee. Okay. I don't know. There might be in some of the. I just wrote down the most common ones. So the Kuchi Pachi is probably the most popular one, I think, from what I've seen. So, and the Mamechi, I don't know. All right, so I'm gonna get a message from Aaron on that. So,
Aaron's screaming at you right now.
He's screaming at me. I know he is.
Actually, he probably just turned it on.
I want him to go give us a voicemail of how to pronounce these.
Yeah, Aaron, send us a voicemail. We'll
play voicemail, it,
please. See if he'll listen.
Oh, he listens. He'll listen.
I know he listens, but see if he'll listen and actually go do it, and then we can play it and be like, "Here's the correct wording."
Yeah,
or verb, how correct, whatever.
Yeah. So they also had some exclusive ones as well. So there in 1997 there was a movie called Rebirth of Mothra 2. So they had a Mothra version, which was released during that movie, when that movie was released in 97. Also in 97 there's the Tamagotchi Angel, which introduced motion sensors. I don't know how that worked. I did research, try to find it, couldn't figure out how all that was, but
probably just a gyroscope.
There was 2 different versions. There was a yellow one for the English version, and there was a pink one for the Japanese version. So if you got yellow, it was English. Pink was for Japan. Then you had the Genji which had to do with the film, the Peking Man. I don't know, it's a Japanese movie. And then you had the Mesuchi and Osuchi, which was actually the first breeding Tamagotchi. So I guess that goes back to the mating thing, I guess we talked about. So that's those two. Yeah. So in 1998, there was, instead of saying these, I have the English name. So the Tamagotchi Garden also uses motion sensors. But this one didn't make it to the U.S. It was just Japan only. Then you had the Tamagotchi Ocean, which is considered one of the hardest to raise. It was very rare in English, but for some reason the Tamagotchi Ocean was a hard pet to raise up and everything, so it probably didn't make it very often. Then you had the Tamagotchi, which was a limited edition, named after the Japanese actress Tamao Nakamura. So they had one named after her. Then you had the Tamagotchi Devil from 1998. This is one of the rarest sought after by collectors. Apparently, they didn't make very many of these. And let's see. Then you had the Yasashi Tamagotchi, which was one of the rarest pets. Also, one of the largest. This one had like 6 buttons and 2 small buttons.
That's too many buttons.
So you can do all different kind of things with this guy.
That's too many
but
buttons.
It is a larger thing, console, whatever, handheld part. So that was from 1998 as well. And one more from 1998. You had the Santa Clutch, which is the Christmas themed. It was the last release of Tamagotchi until 2004. So they released that one in 1998, and then they didn't release any more new ones until 2004.
What was that one? The Santa what?
Santa Clutch.
Clutch.
I guess that's how you say it in Japan or something. I don't know.
Interesting.
That's what it was. So when these things went on sale, less than a year, it sold over 10 million units. After introducing to the U.S., Tamagotchi sold over 3.5 million in over a month, or just under a month. So, can you just imagine selling 3.5 million of these things in 1 month?
I mean, that was just Brownsboro, wasn't it?
It may have been.
So many. There's so many of these things everywhere. I have like vague memories of teachers just having like 5 or 6 in their drawer. Because they take them up and they just get thrown in their drawer.
Your pet's gonna die.
So, so they were. Bandai was ramped up their production to 3 million a month just to keep up with.
Jeez.
With the set. So, I mean, it was crazy. In 1997, a couple more exclusives here, real quick. 1997 saw 6 different designs exclusive to different countries. So there was one for Australia, one for Indonesia, one for Malaysia, one for the Philippines, one for Singapore, and one for Thailand. And then they had a second release for these. There was 4 more added. So there was an exclusive for China, an exclusive for India, and one for New Zealand, and one for Vietnam. So those were all exclusive to just countries.
Interesting.
So,
wow. Yeah, I remember Bronny, hers was white, the one that I got her recently. It's in this house somewhere, but it's in a box somewhere probably.
Yeah.
Or it's in the bottom of her purse. Who knows?
I was gonna say most of your stuff is in a box still, ain't it?
Yeah. Like all my Batman's still in their boxes.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things that it'll pop up every once in a while. You play with it for a day or so until it dies, or you forget about it, and then it goes back in a bag. And yeah, they're interesting. I think they're kind of cool. Like John doesn't care about them, but I think they're kind of cool. Maybe because it just reminds me of like junior high and early high school for me.
Mm-hmm.
I think they would have been, and maybe it's just me, but life goes on. You can't keep going with the digital stuff. If maybe like when it didn't get played with, it would shut it down, and then you could start it back where you left. Oh yeah, I forgot about you. Da-da-da.
No,
No,
So
it
I
just
have to
dies.
restart.
dies.
You
And
turn
then
it
it's
back
like,
on.
okay,
you
you're
see
dead.
a little
It
Home
pooped,
warranty.
tombstone.
it
Yeah, you see
pooped
a
on
little
itself, and then it died, John.
So was the poop on the tombstone, or was it a poopy angel flying around?
No, but it should have been. That would have been
Yeah.
funnier.
That would have
One
made it more
more
interesting.
one more note I got on here for these things. When they were testing these things, they tested these for about a year before they even released them. At one point, it was, like I said, it was the egg watch, is what we talked about earlier. At one point, it was going to be a wrist watch, and they decided, no, let's just do it with the handheld part. And it's got a little keychain; it'll fit on your keychains and all that kind of stuff. So.
I mean, that would be annoying
have
to like
seen
have
that.
to do
Well,
it right
I mean,
there. I mean, this is
yeah,
not
but
the
we
calculator
were wearing
watch, John.
stupid watches that were huge, anyways, at that time. So putting that
Yeah,
right
but-
there,
But doing this
the
with your
watch
both
type thing like
thumbs,
that was
Instead of-
more 80s. I think you had your swatches and your
Right.
your calculator watch and all that kind of stuff. That was more
your
late
Casio.
80s. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this would have been more annoying, whereas this with on both thumbs because you can hit the buttons back and forth. Just worked a little better.
It kind of worked
I don't know,
out.
I
You
didn't
had
play
your
with them
your
anyways.
Game Boy and stuff like that too. That you
Yeah.
used your thumbs, and then you had a lot of people were getting their practice doing their texting thumb wise.
they were getting
Yeah.
ready for the texting.
Yeah.
I mean,
They
nowadays
had
you
little
text
flip
like
phones.
this.
Yeah, they had the flip phones that you had to use your thumbs on. So,
So it would have been perfect for training for 2020. 2022. Andrew's not paying attention.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry.
So if it was the watch, Andrew, it's 2022 version.
I mean, yeah, okay. You can.
Like you said, this is what we do now.
This is what we
do. What people do now when they're driving.
When you're driving. Yeah. Don't text and drive. You'll kill somebody.
Please don't text and drive.
And it won't be something you can just reset.
no.
Toy Rewind Podcast does not like people that text and drive. So don't do it. Yeah. What do we need to do here?
We can rank them now. That's
We do need to
pretty
rank
much
them.
the history. Yeah, that's pretty much the history on the Tamagotchi.
Where do these fall for you, gentlemen?
I'll go first.
John?
John,
Spot 30.
30?
Spot 30, which is, by the way,
Under
very bottom.
Popples? Michael?
I had nothing to do with these.
I'm gonna put that. Let's put it right under Polly Pocket, whatever number that is. For me.
Under Polly Pocket?
So 26.
Yeah, you guys are sad.
26.
Mine's going number 10.
Just so you can push them out of the top 10 here next week.
No, actually, no. I'll bring an interesting fact about that. But I did these. These remind me of junior high and early high school for me. So it's like, I don't know, reminiscent of that. I do want to point out that these, it's Tamagotchi. It starts with a T, and then there was the second one that came out called the Gigapet. Starts with a G. And then you've got the Transformers and the GoBots, and the Transformers were superior to the GoBots, and the Tamagotchis are superior to the Gigapets. So I don't know if there's something about the T's
you're
and the
reaching for
G's.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. It's cool because that'll help balance things out for our bracket.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anything else we want to add for these guys? I mean, there's not. We need to get. We're going to hear from Larry next week about the Tamagotchi and the Gigapet.
Okay.
We weren't able to connect with him this week, but we are going to hear from him next week on both of those. So we'll get his answer on this one.
Yeah.
Before you guys think he had one?
He probably.
Yeah, I think he did.
You think he had one of these?
Parents had one. He probably played with it for a little bit and then threw it in one of his bins.
I bet he still has one somewhere.
I'm sure he still has one. They kept everything for him, which is great.
I bet it's in there. I bet it's one of those bins.
Yeah. Does the battery still work?
That's the question. Does the battery still work? Because these were not easy to change the batteries in, and it was probably more efficient just to throw it away and get a new one.
Right.
If your battery died.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But you got to find them at the store with the little tab on it. Otherwise, the tab's been pulled and the battery's already halfway dead.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We all know that. As toy collectors, we know that. And stop pulling tabs out of the toys. Stop killing batteries. All right. That is a PSA from Toy Rewind Podcast.
The more you know.
This has become a G.I. Joe and He-Man commercial where at the end we give you a life lesson. Stop doing these things. What else we got to add? Anything we need to add here?
Not on this one, no.
Okay, I'm looking to make sure. Okay.
I'm done. My Tamagotchi's dead, so.
Your Tamagotchi's dead. Sorry. Also, my camera's been doing stupid stuff, so if it looks funny, sorry. Thanks for listening to the Toy Rewind podcast. As John mentioned earlier, be sure you go check out Cross the Streams Media, all of our sister podcasts over there. There's quite a few of them that are going on, lots of different things. So be sure you check that out, crossstreamsmedia.com, or you can find them on Twitter, on our Instagram. And while you're there, follow us, because this is when you're going to find out about different things that we do, like Michael's Motoring Mondays. Those drop on, what day do those drop on, Michael?
Monday.
Oh, okay, Monday.
I haven't had one last couple of weeks. I've been busy too.
There's been a lot of stuff going on the last couple of weeks.
I've had some special projects at work, and then I actually moved to a higher profile store and all this kind of stuff. So it's been crazy for me too.
Yeah, that makes sense. John, we need to get you connected with Clint about board games. Something needs to happen there.
About board games?
Yeah, like playing something. Figure out if we can play a board game online or something. I don't know.
He does that. He does board games online.
Yeah, they do board games. We should get you in with that. Clint and his buddy.
His little Dorchman.
I don't remember what his friend's name is.
I'll play board games online. What do you want to play? I'm good. Just let me know ahead of time so I can schedule off, because it might take some time.
All right, we got to get you connected with Clint, because they already do something. Maybe that'll be another connection we have with them.
Yeah.
Be sure you check out Cross Streams Media, all that good stuff. Check out ToyRewindPodcast.com, where you can see our toy rankings, and at some point we'll put up some more toy reviews. I'm going to start snapping pictures of my stuff before I start taking things out of boxes again, and so we'll see more of that. Those things hopefully get posted. Follow our social medias. That's where we like to, kind of post some things here and there. Hopefully that'll pick back up as we're getting settled back into different things. So
you're going to do a second unboxing?
I almost got on today to do a live just of me trying to set things up, and as I'm trying to figure out where things go and everything, because I got
pretty cool.
I got so much
all your collectibles. I mean, why not? Yeah. I already got some comments on that and been like, "Hey, you need to do this."
Maybe I will.
You're still halfway there, so you still got plenty of time.
No, I'm nowhere near halfway there. There's still a lot of stuff over here, and I got to figure out what. And then the possible move to the other side of the bait. I don't know. There's lots of stuff going on here. I just had to have something in my background for tonight.
Within the next couple of weeks, my background changes. So
lots of changes happening here, but we're still going to continue to bring you great episodes every week of your toy lines until we get to episode 99 at least, and then we'll talk about what we're doing 99 and 100. So with that, anything you guys want to add?
Nope.
All right. Remember, next week we talk about the far not superior. What's the opposite of superior? I almost said far superior. The unsuperior Gigapet, because we got that spoiler already. But non-superior. Whatever.
Which way you go?
They're not as good. They're not as good.
There you go.
On behalf of the Brothers Newland, here at the Toy Rewind podcast, play on.
You've been listening to the Toy Rewind podcast. Follow and join in the conversations at toyrewindpodcast.com.